to outperform the competition. Where did I get this idea from? I was doing some sales training about 12, 15 years ago with a group of realtors, and we are talking about how to be strategic in our market, how to grow our business, right? How to decide and then divide our market and penetrate that market for our brand, for our product, our services. And so as I'm doing this training, and it was a weekly training, we got together, and I'm studying this thing on performance. And I realized, you know what? You don't really beat the competition. You don't really beat competition. Here's what the epiphany that I had, and that was this: you don't beat the competition, you outperform them. And here's how I got there. I started thinking about this. Does the competition have access to social media? Say yes. Does a competition have access to websites? Say yes. Does a competition have access to digital marketing? Say yes. Does a competition have access to coaching tools, etc.? Say yes, say yes, say yes. So that the competition has access to the tools that I have access to, how do I beat someone that have access to the same tools that I have access to? Let me tell you how you beat the competition. You outperform them. I was watching a coach talking about training of professional athletes, and he was quickly made the separation between what separates an amateur and an athlete, a professional athlete. And he said an amateur will practice until they get it right. He said a professional practices till they can't get it wrong. Wow. That's a different mindset, friend, that you and I are intentional about results. You and I are intentional about our performance, that we are willing to commit to a regiment, where we're willing to commit to a discipline. We are willing to commit to a diet, an agenda that will allow us to rise to the top. What's the difference between good and great? It's performance. What separates the average baseball player and a Hall of Famer? Performance. What separates, here we go, Michael Jordan, I'm gonna get in trouble when I say the next name, and LeBron James. Man, I'm having fun on this side of the camera. It's performance, man. That's what it is. So where are we going today? So today we're going the 5 key strategies on how to outperform and beat your competition in any market. Number 1, build your skill weekly. Ever, what's up, brother? Championships. I agree. Right? Build your skills weekly. Build your skills weekly. How often, Rich, shall I build my skills? I should be building it weekly. The second strategy that we're going to talk about today is read at least 5 books. Whatever profession you are in, whatever your vocation is, try to read at least 5 books a year on your profession, right? That's performance, friend. This conversation today is only about performance, nothing else. And I can't have competition with others because there isn't another me. Does that make sense? But you got to read books. The third thing is you got to leverage your social media. Leverage your social medias. And I'll get some tips and some techniques and maybe a tool or two that you can use to help leverage your social media. Number 4, you got to invest in your team. If you are a leader of an organization, a sales team, a CEO, a VP, how do you invest in your team? You say, Rich, what if I don't have a team? I'm an individual. Well, it's team, me, myself, and I. Right? It's team, me, myself, and I. So you got to invest in your team. And then the 5th and final thing is you got to hire a coach or consider hiring a coach. So let's get at it. So strategy number 1, build your skills weekly. How often should you build your skills? Let me hear it. Shout it out. We should do it weekly. How do you do that? You role play a new script, technique, right? A process. If I'm in sales, a process. If I'm in some other business, I got to look at my process, make sure I know my process in and out better than anyone else. In a drilling coach, in a coaching training environment, I say practice, drill, rehearse. You practice, drill, rehearse. You practice, drill, rehearse. Why do we practice, drill, and rehearse? You practice, drill, and rehearse so that you become confident and competent and you sound natural. You practice, drill, and rehearse until you are confident, competent, and you sound natural. You got to know your product. Everyone has a product. Rich, I'm a VP of HR. You have a product. Your product is your company mission, vision, values. Rich, I sell solar panels. That's an obvious product. I'm in real estate. What's your product? Service. Everyone in business, whether you're working for someone or you're working for yourself. Rich, I'm just a custodian. Right? I sweep floors, I mop floors, I clean out restrooms, I empty trash. I'm just a custodian. You still have a product, friend. You have to know your UVP. What is your UVP? Your unique value proposition. What's your UVP? What's your unique value proposition? In other words, as a janitor, as a VP of HR, as a business owner, as a sales professional, why in the heck are people calling me? What separates me from the other person? Can you, as a professional, can you list at least 5 things? Don't do it now. Don't try to do it now. Just listen. And this is recorded. I'm going to post it on LinkedIn. It's going to be on Facebook, on all the platforms, right? So you can get it. I just want you to get this information because I'm going to hit it and quit, and we'll be done in 30 minutes, right? So why should someone write down 5 reasons why someone should pick up the phone and call you? 5 reasons why your boss should promote you. 5 reasons why someone should leave company A and come to company B. 5 reasons, if you can come up with 5 reasons. And then you got to look at your features and the benefits of the features. So one of the things that helped me have success in real estate, I started out 2002 in real estate. By my second year in real estate, I was in the top 3% in my office. I was winning production for volume, listing, deals closed, etc. I was selling 4 or 5 homes a month, right? I was crushing it, absolutely crushing it. I didn't know nearly as much then as I know now. But I got good at helping people see the benefit of using the feature that I was presenting, right? So understand your features and then be able to communicate the benefit of that feature to your customers. Hey, if I'm a teacher in a classroom, how does a teacher, right, take a feature, a curriculum to their students and demonstrate the value, right? The benefit of learning your ABCs, the benefit of learning math, the benefit of understanding the English language, the benefit of knowing your history. So you got to take that feature, that product, and you got to be able to innovatively, creatively demonstrate and convey the benefit to your audience. The third thing of building skills is you got to connect and build, connect and build, connect and build. What does that mean? You got to do business. You got to find people and connect with people that know, love, and trust you, or know, like, and trust you. Connect with them. You know, on LinkedIn, I'm connecting with people. Hey, do you got a couple of minutes next week? I'd love to have a conversation. I want to learn more about your business. Are you trying to sell something? No, I'm looking for ways to add value. I gotta ask. See, before I ask for what's in your hand, I want to understand what's in your heart. What's your mission, vision, and value, your purpose? Where are you going? And how can I be a part of that? Right? Listen to audiobooks or podcasts. This is skill building. Become an industry leader. Listen, I said this earlier. It doesn't matter if you're a custodian. Be an industry leader. Understand cleaning processes and products better than anyone else. You know, my wife and I started a cleaning company years ago, and we went from losing money our first year to making $10,000 a month. And that was back in 1998. I did a cash calculator equivalent to what the economy today, 1998 economy, and what would that money be in today's economy? That's like $19,000 a month, right? But we got there because I took time to know the product, and I took time to become in this industry leader. No one knew more to me. No one knew more about cleaning carpets and homes than me at that time. The second thing is I mentioned read 5 books, right? Broaden your perspective, challenge your assumptions, right? Why do I think the way that I think about my industry? Why does this process work? What's the purpose of this policy? How does this product fit into this situation? How can I step outside of what I think I know and believe and see and get another perspective or another strategy and come across some innovative ways for me to continue to do what I do consistently every day, all day, and twice on Sunday. Expand your knowledge. When you read books, you expand your knowledge. When you read books, you expand your knowledge. Now, listen, don't just expand your knowledge for the sake of expanding your knowledge. Then take that knowledge and apply it, because people don't only pay you for what you know, they also pay you for what you consistently can show or the results that you get from what you know. You know, a lady once asked a plumber, listen, you was only in my house for 30 minutes, and why did you give me a $750 bill? He said, ma'am, I was only in your house for 30 minutes, but that's $750. You're paying for 30 plus years of experience. 30 years of experience, 30 minutes, $750, right? So expand your knowledge and act on it. Look for industry advancements. Subscribe to news articles, publications. Get on some email lists and get information sent to you on a weekly basis. And all you have to do is take 10 or 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes a day to invest in becoming an industry leader, regardless if you're a custodian or you're the CEO. Doesn't matter, right? So read 5 books. The third strategy, and this is the conversation frame only about performance. This is only a conversation about performance. You have to leverage social media. Leverage, enhance your personal brand. What's your brand? Do you know what your brand is? That's why I said Rich Wall Street Williams. Guess what? If you Google Rich Wall Street Williams, it's going to lead you to me. Rich Wall Street Williams is the number one. When you do Rich Wall Street Williams on Google, I'm on page 1. That's where I want to be. I branded Rich Wall Street. You go to LinkedIn, it's Rich Wall Street. You go to my Facebook page, it's Rich Wall Street, right? So it's Rich Wall Street brand. What's your brand? Who's your audience? 52%. Listen, 52% of people under 25, they go to social media first before they go to your website, before they pick up the phone and call you. They go to social media first. So are you positioned where your customers and clients can find you? How do you leverage your social media? Well, you build a strong online presence. You can do one of the things when the first 90 days, if you're launching and establishing your brand, I recommend you do the 10 by 10. Or you could just make this a principle, 10 by 10. What's a 10 by 10? 10 posts on social media by 10 a.m. 10 posts on social media by 10 a.m. You know, on each, no, you can go to Facebook and do a couple. You can go to LinkedIn and do a couple. You can go to Instagram and do a couple. You can go to Twitter and do a couple. You could put a 30, 45, or 60-second video on TikTok, right? 10 by 10. Try to do 10 social media posts by 10 a.m. Now, there's a tool that I use, and maybe you may want to consider using something similar. It's called Hootsuite, Hootsuite, Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a tool that I use. I can post in one place, and Hootsuite pushes it out to 4 or 5 different platforms for me automatically. On your Facebook page, if you have your Facebook page set up as a business, there's a calendar. You can schedule your post, so you can open up your Meta business page on your Facebook business page, and there's a calendar, and you can literally go in and pre-schedule your post. And guess what it will do? Your Meta business page on your Facebook account will give you optimum times to post based upon the interaction of your audience with your social media, with your Facebook page. Engage with industry influencers and thought leaders. So follow those who are speaking and teaching and living the product or the brand that you want to display in your marketplace. Follow them. Get insight from what they're doing and invite them to follow you. If you have a podcast or some kind of Instagram live, hey, ask, do you mind coming on Instagram live with me? I want to share more about what you're doing. I want to share with my followers what you're doing. So we're connecting, we're leveraging social media. The fourth thing that you and I can do is we have to invest in our team. People are the number one resource of any organization in the world. People, not innovation, not creativity, not robotics, not artificial intelligence. Now, creativity is important. Innovation is important, right? Artificial intelligence is important, but they are second placed people. People are your number one resource. People are the number one resource. They're the number one asset in any company, any organization in the world. So understand the significance of having a high-performing team. Now, you may not be a sales leader. You may not be the VP of sales. You may not be the VP of your region. You may not be the CEO of your organization and company. But let me tell you something, friend. If you are an independent, if you are a solo entrepreneur, you still are part of a team. The people that help fulfill your vision, people that help service. Maybe your team are loyal customers. But understand the significance of a high-performing team. Nurture talent and foster a collaborative environment. Nurture talent and foster a collaborative environment. Inspire team members to unlock the full potential. I read a post on LinkedIn last year. I'm not sure the source of it, but it said people will leave a boss long before they leave an organization. Think about that. People leave a boss long before they leave an organization. How many of you have ever had a horrible boss? Right? And you fantasize of doing harm to him or her. Don't put it in the comment section. We don't want to know. But people leave a boss long before they leave an organization. Why, Rich? Because they don't feel like they are important. People are the number one asset, the number one product, the number one customer of any organization in the world. So, leader, invest in your team. You can invest in your team by doing little getaways, retreats, team building activities, communicating with them, cell phone, text messages, email. Make a short video, 30, 45 seconds, and send it to your team. Love on your team. Support your team. Sometimes in sales, there are challenges in sales because I'm, my background is sales. And sometimes in sales, we have this KPI, King, P, product, I, indicator, key performance indicator, right? Key performance indicators, KPI. And so sometimes you may have a team member that's not hitting his or her mark. Yeah, you're right, Everett. They made movies about horrible bosses. Right. So sometimes in sales, you have a team member that's not hitting their KPIs or their key performance indicators. You don't just throw them aside because they're having a struggle. Sit down with them. Hey, Mary, I notice your sales are down this month. Is there anything I can do to help you? What's going on? What's keeping you up late at night? I don't know. It's some people say, well, you may get too personal, and you have to use discretion, of course. And you have to know the climate, the temperature of your team. But just because a person isn't hitting their numbers doesn't necessarily mean that they can't perform or they're not interested in performing. This is taking time to invest in people, invest in your team. The fifth and final thing about how do you beat the competition is you got to hire a coach. Explore the transformative impact of working with a professional coach. You can benefit from their personalized guidance and support, but you got to find the right coach that aligns with your goals and aspiration. Listen, I read this portion of an article from the Objective Management Group in March, earlier this year. And it said, beyond improvements in the salesperson's attitude, frequent coaching also creates tangible gains in the salesperson's tactical skills. Most notably, salespeople who receive consistent, frequent coaching show 50% plus greater proficiency in using sales technology than those who don't receive any coaching, and everyone say and 16% greater proficiency compared to those who receive on-demand coaching. That's by the Objective Management Group in an article that they had posted on the website in March 23, 2023. Hire a coach. Years ago, Tiger Woods was struggling with his golf. And the first thing he did when he first started to have a slump was he fired his current coach and he hired another coach. Wait, Tiger Woods, the professional, hired a coach? He's at the top of his game. Yeah, he hired a coach because he needed that proficiency. So he hired a coach. So I'm asking, or I'm suggesting to you that you consider doing the same. So what did we talk about today? We talked about the 5 key strategies on how to outperform your competition. Strategy number 1, you got to build your skills weekly. 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, 5, 10, 15 minutes a week, you decide. Second thing we suggested is that you should read at least 5 books a year on your industry, your career, your vocation. The third thing we suggested today is you got to leverage your social media. One of the tips or one of the techniques or tool techniques is a 10 by 10 social media posts by 10 a.m. When do I start? As early as you want to. But the goal is the first 0 to 90 days, I'm ramping up my brand, my branding. I'm ramping up my the content. So I am going to post 10 social media, post 10 content on social media before 10 a.m. The fourth thing we said is invest in your team. People are the number one asset, the number one product of any company or organization or association in the world. Invest in your team. And then the fifth thing is hire a coach. Organizations that hire a coach for their team show a 50% increase in proficiency in sales tools, technology, and on average, 19% increased proficiency and ability to close deals. Listen, man, when we practice, drill, and rehearse, we become confident, competent, and we sound natural. So listen, I appreciate you taking some time to join me today as we went through 5 key strategies on how to outperform the competition. So look, you can follow me, Momentum 100 on Facebook. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Wall Street Williams on LinkedIn. I got a podcast show, and the podcast show is Motivate Podcast. And on the Motivate Podcast show, we focus on the 8 pillars of life. If you want to get on our newsletter, once a month we send out the Momentum News. You want to be a part of the newsletter group, you want to subscribe to that group, all you got to do is email me at momentum100x@gmail.com, and I'll make sure that you get added to the list. At Momentum Consulting, we believe that education plus application makes all the difference in the world. Let's get it.